going to be just a quick little rundown of how exactly you need to be position sizing every single trade you make every single day, no matter what. No excuses. This is exactly how it has to be done. A lot of Forex traders don't really grasp or understand until later on in their career, and some never do, that every trade you make with every pair and every different size stop loss is going to need a different position size, a different lot size that you enter the trade with. You're not going to just be entering a 0.25 or a one standard lot for every trade you make. It's inconsistent. It doesn't make any sense. You won't have the same size winners and losers. It's really just setting yourself up for failure. Like I said, this is a business that we need to take seriously. We need to treat trading like it is a business of our own that we're running. And in order to do that, we need consistency. We need to have everything done properly. And by having a position size calculator for every trade you make, you're making sure that you are risking the same amount with every trade to win consistently and to lose consistently, so that you have better chances of success. So basically, I'm going to run down real quick what position size calculator I use, and I'll do a quick little mock of a trade to show you guys what I mean by this. So if you just Google position size calculator, it'll come up as the first thing. But my FX book has, if you go under Forex calculators right here, you can see that my FX book has the under the home tab here, Forex calculators, you go to position size calculator. It has it all right here on my FX book's website. So it's simple and easy as can be. All you have to do is follow the parameters and input your trade right here to it. The first thing you need to do, though, is determine the exact risk percentage of your account you are going to be risking per trade. And I cover this as part of developing your plan and everything, but you don't want to be risking anywhere near 4 or 5% is even too high, in my opinion. I would start with 1%, and then as you build a plan and start becoming more consistent, you can increase that 1% to maybe 2% or even 3%. I wouldn't go higher than 3% personally. I know some traders that do go a little bit higher, but to 2 to 3% risk per trade is recommended highly. I would do 1 to start, but eventually 2 to 3 is a good consistent place to be. What this means is if you have a $1,000 account and you're risking 3%, you're risking $30 a trade. So really what you're doing is keeping consistent. You're going to have losing streaks in trading, and you don't want to risk 10% of your account and you go on a five straight losing streak and there goes half your account. Do you know how long it takes to win back that 50% of your account you just lost now that you have to win all those back just to get to where you started? You need to stay low with your risk to reward. And if you're trading 2% risk per trade, then you have a chance of winning 4% per win. 4% of an account in one single trade is huge returns. These are returns that are really drastic when you compound them over time and you have multiple trades. And so the first thing you do is determine the amount of risk. I'm going to do 2% because it's safe and it's easy. What's account size? We'll just say $1,000 just to be safe. Right? So $1,000 account, we'll say you're starting with 2% risk. So every one trade you take, you're risking $20. Now, how you're going to go ahead and you can change what your base currency is of your Forex account. I'm going to have it set as US dollars because that's what I trade. So I'm going to have this mock trade here with the pound New Zealand. So first thing I do, I have a $1,000 account. I want to risk 2% per trade. That's going to be standard. As your account size changes, let's say you lose a trade and you go down, whatever, that you change. But the 2% stays consistent with every single trade. There's no, oh, I feel better about this trade, so I'm going to do 5%. Or, oh, I don't really like this trade that much, I'm going to do 1%. You do 2% every single trade. If you don't feel good about a trade, you don't take it. You should absolutely think every trade you ever take is the best trade you ever made. So 2% stays consistent with every trade. Then, before you even think about what your position size is, you have to have a predetermined stop loss. The stop loss depends on where you're wrong in the market and pip value, not how much money you're willing to lose. That's not how you determine a stop loss. The position size calculator is how you determine that. So, with this trade, we have a stop loss of 59 pips. As you can see, stop 0.0059. That's 59 pips. Now, I'm just going to say 60 pips. I'm just going to round that to 60 pips. So, we're risking 60 pips. Right, we want to risk 2% of our account, and we have a $1,000 account. Now the pair is the pound New Zealand, so I'm going to go down to the pound New Zealand. I'm going to pick it. I'm going to hit calculate, and this should calculate my what I want to trade. Sorry guys, I just had to switch over to a different position size calculator. This is with Baby Pips, the website. It's the exact same concept though. For some reason my FX book's just not working right now. It should be working though, so still go by my FX books. The only thing it didn't do there was calculate. So I'm using Baby Pips position size calculator. Same concept. We've got the $1,000 account balance, 2% risk per trade. We have a 60 pip stop loss for this exact trade, and we're trading New Zealand pound, the pound New Zealand. Now this on Baby Pips asked me to input the current New Zealand dollar, US dollar asking price. That's just what what they need to calculate this. FX book, my FX book has the live data on their site, so they have it already incorporated in, so you don't need to input that, which saves one extra input step. But this is the exact same thing. I just had to switch over to see the quotes over here, and it's at 68.70. So we did this, and then you hit calculate, and what it does here is, for one, it tells you the exact dollar value you'd risk in the trade, which we already know 2% of 1,000 is going to be $20. Then you've got the position size is going to be 4,852 units, or a 0.04. Now I'd round that up to a 0.05, but that's the size position that you trade. A 0.05 lot on a $1,000 account per trade if you're risking 60 pips with this pair. Now this is different with every pair, and it's different with every size stop loss, which is why these inputs will change, and you have to continue to use this with every single trade you make, because this 2% risk percentage of your portfolio right here is the part that we need to stay consistent. We need every single trade to be the exact same percentage of our capital at risk. It doesn't mean that we do the exact same position size no matter what pair we're trading, or no matter what size of stop loss it is. Because look at how this changes if we're only trading a 40 pip stop loss. Now we're trading a 0.72 lot, a 0.07 lot, right? So that's a big difference. There's a big money value there difference if you traded the same position size with a 60 pip loss. But when we change it here, it's still $20 at risk. So you can risk a higher trade to trade with that much because you're 20 pips less. So essentially I just wanted to cover a quick breakdown for you guys of how exactly you should be inputting every single trade. You should never ever place a trade without first inputting it into this. This is also another filter to help you make sure you're not just trading out of boredom or greed. Input it into this, make sure you are consistent with your risk percentage, and don't change your risk percentage. Like I said, if you start with 1%, do it until you have a month or two straight of consistency, and then okay to 2%, and then do that with every single trade. Don't jump all over the place, don't bounce around, because then you'll have a nice winner at 1%, and then you have a loser at 2%, and you'll lose all the money you just won back because you were trading a higher risk percentage. So just stay consistent with it. 1 to 3% to start. I would stay at 3% when you're steady trading, and that's 6% win for one trade win. 6% of your portfolio. That's a lot of money. When you're trading a higher volume of money, and when you're compounding your interest and your account's growing consistently, that is a ton of money. So make sure you guys consistently use a position size calculator, whether it be Baby Pips or my FX book. Position size calculator is huge, and it is